The last days of Yo Gotti. We might be in them. Govan, or Hernandez Govan, has been going to court these last few days. His trial is supposed to start in a few weeks. The hearings the last few days, amongst other things, one got basically all the evidence of what's going to happen at the trial is sealed. And in the last few days, old man Stan G had Mr. Ian, I think, talking on. So Mr. Ian is a Memphis rapper that says Yo Gotti is his friend still. That's his man. And he said Yo Gotti is the devil. But that's my man. He doesn't care who lives or dies. And if I heard this correctly, go check out Stan G, Real Talk with Tamara. These are the sources of this information, but pretty interesting. Now, what's fascinating to me about, I like Dolph a lot, so that's why I care about. Like, a lot of rappers get killed. Why do I stick with covering this or talking about the Dolph? I like Dolph. And I've done stories on it. Gotti's members of CMG employed on the payroll, multiple of them in separate incidents, were charged and in some cases served long prison terms for trying to kill young Dolph. So there's no way you could say CMG wasn't trying to kill young Dolph. So the murder of Big Jook at his uncle, the former Big Dope Man's funeral, a funeral that supposedly had a whole lot of security, where some guys came in, killed him at the funeral, and got away smooth and easy. I was listening, I don't know who Real Talk with Tamara, she had some guys on there last night, some other Memphis people. And the guy said Big Jook's murder was like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. Remember, Joe Pesci killed Billy Batts, a made man. So that broke the rules of the game in his own. And the mob, if you raise a hand to a made man, even if you're a made man, if you raise your hand, like all arguments with made men are supposed to be settled verbally and ruled on by the boss. If you raise your hand to a made man, it's the same thing in the Mexican mafia. Even if you are a made man yourself, you're subject to death because you can't have any physical, if you allow physical confrontations between, the people that's supposed to be the in crowd, well, you're not, that regime is going to fall, right? That ain't going to stand. So when he said Big Jook getting taken out, so that implies he took out young Dolph without authorization. But who is it that would have took out Jook? I think it's possible that someone in CMG connected to Gotti. Gotti had Jook taken out. Gotti and Jook were known to have an on-again, off-again relationship. If Hernandez Govan, so for those of you that don't remember, Hernandez Govan is being charged with being the Big Jook put up like the $100,000 or $200,000 bounty on Dolph. Govan got the shooters, who were Cornelius Smith, who was the one who was the pillhead and kind of a bum, who did the murder on his daughter's birthday and only ended up getting like $300, and straight dropped Justin Johnson. Cornelius Smith got on the stand, told on Justin Johnson. Justin Johnson is doing all that time. Straight drop. Straight drop shouldn't even have been free. Tennessee justice system must be all messed up. Justin Johnson, just a few years before he killed Dolph, got into a fight at a bowling alley, went to the car, got the Draco, went to the door of the bowling alley and shot it up with a Draco and hit a bunch of people. And the guy only did like, I'm doing this off the top of my head because I got an appointment I got to go to, but he did like 2 years in some probation or something. He like shot up a bowling alley with a Draco. And then he killed young Dolph. Now, the people down there in Memphis talking on these blogs I was listening to make it sound like what? Like CMG, Cocaine Music. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. Cocaine Music Group. Is Gotti even really the boss? Let me take you to a world I know a lot about, the major drug trafficking world. The Davis family. Shout out to everyone in the Davis family. Back in the late 70s and early 80s, top heroin traffickers in the United States. Only African Americans listed by the DEA as top 10 international heroin traffickers. There were 2 gangs in Detroit, drug dealing gangs, infamous, Young Boys Incorporated and Pony Down. They were beefing with each other, but they were both getting their drugs. Sometimes, I mean, drugs come from all over, but a lot of times they was getting their drugs from the Davis family. So even though the Pony Down and the YBI was supposedly at each other's throat, or they were in the street, they was selling the same dope from the Davis family. The Davis family was operating at a level where they were getting stuff from Thailand, Pakistan, and Turkey all at the same time, and they'd mix it together to make a type of dope that had the hit and the hold. They said when they had that mix on the street, no one else could sell anything. So, what does that have to do with what I'm saying? Well, if you think about this violent, dark rap industry, what if CMG, PRE, a lot of these things are just different crews that might beef with each other, and to the people higher up the food chain, they're all the same. They just, same thing with gangs in LA. The little guys are killing each other, and I might be out to dinner with someone that got to say so from a group that's supposed to be beefing with another group, older guys, and find out, oh, well, they're cousins and they're good buddies and they do all sort of stuff together, even though their 2 gangs are at war. That's just how the world works. Remember my father, when I was little, my father was in Vietnam, and he said he got upset. He was watching PBS show about Vietnam War, and the North Korean generals and the American generals, 5 years after the Vietnam War ended, they met up. It was on some TV show, and they were exchanging Rolex watches and bottles of expensive French wine and reminiscing on old battles. Well, they're not the ones who fought the battles. It's the young soldiers who died. So, what's really going on? Those 2 knuckleheads jumping out of the car and killing Dolph is sad, but I mean, things like that happen. That kind of, when I say it makes sense, I mean, I can wrap my head around it, but who the hell came to that big drug dealer funeral and gunned down Big Jook? Smooth and easy. There was all type of security there. Police were there. Gotti and them's family, that Bovan, was that Eric Bovan whose funeral was? Like, those were old school street royalty. Like, who killed him at a funeral where there was lots of security and police and got away with it? There's not even any rumors on the internet about who did that. Like, that's never even mentioned who killed Jook. Definitely professionals. I always wondered, they say Jook wasn't too good with money. Jook was known for gambling. If he won, he wanted to get paid, but if he lost, it was get paid. What you gonna do about it? If Jook didn't have money like that, you could certainly see Jook messing around with selling substances. Memphis, as we know, from our knowledge of Craig Petty's, Memphis at a different time. Memphis is a heavy market. Because all of the South, all them little towns around there, big loads go into Memphis. Cartel is in Memphis. Just like they're in Atlanta. Cocaine Music Group. Could Jook have owed? Could the murder of Gotti's brother been a message to Gotti? Hey, you guys, you making money in rap, using the money you made with us, and you still doing stuff with us, and now you making everything too hot. They done messed everything up. The murder of Dolph messed up CMG. All they got is Glorilla, who's popping. I like Glorilla, but they putting a lot of money into Glorilla. And I mean, Glorilla ain't that big, right? I mean, Glorilla is a girl rapper. I like her. She's popular. She's not, J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And, she's many notches beneath that. They got Moneybag Yo's big, but that's only half their artists. Who else they got? The murder of Dolph derailed CMG more than it even did PRE. And if there's always somebody above you in the food chain, whether it's Rock Nation or some people who's I would imagine there's some people who are not African American somewhere in the food chain involved with Jook's murder. And think about this, and I gotta go. If Big Jook was known for unpaid gambling tabs in the streets of Memphis, why would Hernandez Govan have trusted him to pay the bounty? Why would, where was the bounty coming from? So now that Hernandez Govan's, this evidence is going to be sealed. They got Cornelius Smith, the one who testified against Straight Brap, is about to show up. And he's going to be testifying. This Hernandez Govan thing might really bring out some dark truths. And I've been doing these stories on the music industry. It is organized crime, has been through it from the start. The whole entertainment industry is a criminal conspiracy to some extent. As we see from Donald Trump, politics is a criminal conspiracy. What do we have to believe in anymore? But it sure ain't rap music. Go watch my my breakdown of the Big Jook murder, and you can see how many times CMG tried to kill Dolph for sure. But who's behind CMG? Who killed Big Jook? And what's going to come out at the Hernandez Govan trial? Al Prophet. Talk to you later today. American Dope.